Look alive, Fringers.
It's 2099 and we are live and loud in the underground. From the streets to the scar. Keep your chip hidden, your gun loaded, and never trade your soul for souls.
Turn it up and let them know.
Big Brother is watching. Time to put on a show.
Hello, Fringers! Howdy, Cobalts and Thoriums. Welcome to episode 16 of Neon Trails, an Identico actual play. I'm your game runner, the Caleb G. We hope you're doing well. Things are tough out there, so do me a favor. Stop doom scrolling. Just stop. Just a break. Just take a break. You can't stop at all. I know that. It's too hard. Just take a break. Just do that for us right here while we're having fun. Just stop. Get
Just
some water,
enjoy the middle of this screen right here with the bald and the beard. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Just saying.
Put something in your hands. Get something fidgety. Get something to play with because you need that, and have some fun. We're gonna hang out. We've got a bunch of great people here. So let's hello to those wonderful people who could have a pretty good weekend in Vegas with all that stuff. First off, if you try any pre-versions in there, he'll blow your head off. It's Mallo playing Galen.
Good evening, everyone.
Next up, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. It's Wild playing B.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would absolutely fight in the war room. That's what it's for. It's war in the name. There's war in the name. That's where you fight. Hi, guys.
And there's also a big buffet where you might have a pie fight. And you don't think he'd go into combat with loose change in his pocket, do you? It's Pete playing Dog.
Yeah, hey, dang old yeehaw, bud. I was trying to riff off of you. I couldn't think of anything. Yep. Hello.
The whole point of a doomsday machine is lost if you keep it a secret. Why didn't you tell the world? It's Lauren playing Drall.
To be clear, I probably would have told anyone and everyone, especially if they told me not to. So, hello and good evening. Welcome to an actual play.
And we must not allow a mine shaft gap. It's Ethan playing Mox.
Here, peace is our profession.
Yay!
Yeah, I got the reference, yeah. that's my game at the beginning of each session is what is he going to quote from this time?
There were some deep cuts on this one. It was tough.
That one was. There was only one that gave it away to me.
All right, so let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Identico is live every other Tuesday on twitch.tv/Identico with episodes of Neon Trails at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can see episode archives, how to play videos, and clips over at youtube.com/Identico. Be sure to subscribe, leave us some comments, tell us your favorite things to do when Doomsday happens down in the mine shafts. Follow us on the socials for announcements and news. Look for us at Identico and at Humanoid Games on whatever social platform you prefer to use. And swing over to playidentico.com with that newly redone visual presentation. It's gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, there's also the newest adventure, The Dark and the Divine, on sale now. It's amazing, and it's very affordable.
It is. Very.
There's also the basic core rules for free, and a whole bunch of other stuff you can take a look at. If you're live with us right now, hello, hi, thank you for being here. If you've got some channel points to spend, you can do that. We'll see what happens tonight. Who knows? And other than that, Mallo, do you have any announcements or housekeeping to share?
Only that Emerald City Comic Con is exactly a week away.
What?
So get excited. We're excited to see you. We're at booth 10832. If you remember where we were last year, same spot. Right there in the middle of the main show floor, which is exciting because all of our friends are going to be around us and things like that. We are also confirmed now to be running games with our friends at the Alexandria RPG. If you don't know Alexandria RPG, they are a traveling exhibit of... It's a traveling museum or library of just about every possible RPG that's ever been made. I kid you not, all the way back to the original. I think they have an original red box. They don't bring it with them to every convention because it's behind glass, etc. But if you want to play AD&D, you want to play a little bit of everything, including a brand new adventure that we are writing for Identico. We are doing it Friday afternoon and Saturday night. So come by. There's sign-up sheets right outside of the room. Check our socials. I've got all sorts of stuff out there about that. And also, if you are a cosplayer, because I know we all got some cosplayer friends, and we love the cosplayers, we got a little bit of freebies for you if you come by in Cyberpunk cosplay. If you come by our booth, we got a little bit of freebies for you. So just kind of swing by. Once you get all your pictures taken and you do all your things and stuff like that, swing by. We got a little something for you. We'll hook you up.
Wonderful. Definitely head over. The middle's the best place to be. Everyone wants to be the cream in the cookie.
Also, can people see that? It's glitter Identico stickers. That may or may not be one.
That is smooth.
That's convention exclusive. And if you're a cosplayer, this is be one of the things we can hook you up with.
Dear cosplayers, do it for me.
It's convention exclusive?
Do it for me.
Y'all got planes?
I also may have just sent off for some new holographic stickers as well that I think are going to be really, really fun. I will show those off at the convention as well. It'll be the first time those are there. And I have a new one which is called Nerd Shit. But it's the shit is blurred out a little bit for you, so you won't get in trouble if you put it on your water bottle and take it to work.
Oh, that's nice. I love being low-key profane.
That's the best part. You got to be able to sneak it in, because that's how we fight back.
Yes.
That's how we
Sneaky little shithead.
maintain our tenuous grasp on our sanities. All right. So everybody who's out there, please absolutely head out that way and have some fun. But before we dig into the last week of con prep, let's look back at what happened last time on Neon Trails. The crew was still separated while exploring the abandoned detention black site prison. Dog, Drall, and Mox were exploring the armory, studying strange, rambling writing scribbled on the wall in what was hopefully gravy. Galen and B were exploring the prisoner processing floor with their drones, navigating an infestation of mutant plants while observing a group of cybered out survivors dragging salvage toward a deep pit. After an important discussion about texting etiquette, the crew reassembled. B made some disguises out of mutant plant matter. Dog was attacked by one of the plants, but was quickly rescued without much damage. The crew descended towards the prisoner floor and found it in absolute squalor. Amidst the signs that it was still unbelievably inhabited somehow, there was more cryptic writing. Dog noticed one of the cells etched with careful writing of astrological and astronomical symbols, along with blueprints and schematics of aircraft. At the end of the hall of prison cells, the crew found the medical facility and were sickened at the evidence of torturous experiments that had been carried out. After also finding the room inhabited with what could only be described as zombies, the crew decided to prioritize their safety and sanity by leaving. However, they still had a job to complete, so they agreed to continue exploring the detention staff floors, which seemed to be far less dangerous than the prison levels. The episode ended as the crew headed to the old staff living quarters. And that is right where we'll pick up. The last episode ended as the elevator doors were opening. Ahead of you is a very large, long room. The lighting is still the same. It's not dark, but it's not well lit. Most of the lights are broken and dangling, swaying in an unseen breeze. The area around the elevators is mostly clear and empty. Further down the room, on your left, you see a combination of what is probably a commissary, a cafeteria, eating area, as well as a small medical facility. And over on the right are a bunch of bunks and footlockers. So clearly this is where the staff who was assigned would crash out as they were rotating through their shifts. Like the armory, this room has been ransacked. A bunch of the bunk beds are tipped over. The footlockers are all upended, broken. Stuff, scrap has been thrown and tossed everywhere. The little tables with benches for eating at, kind of like the old Kmart cafeteria with the Little Caesar, like those little square tables with the benches connected to them and the boomerang pattern printed on them. Like those are just tossed everywhere. The medical facility is severely ransacked and broken. But this room is very quiet, like before. And what would you like to do?
Galen's going to take point, lean out with the shotgun, with the lights on and everything like that, and start checking corners a little bit as he's going. Just kind of gently, he's got a little bit of the lay of the land, the way that you got us going and stuff like that. And so he's kind of just, kind of pieing corners and things like that. Because I believe, because last session y'all told Galen and B about the guys down here. So different type of people, but still, sort of on alert for that kind of thing. And he's trying to get a little proactive with the push. That way, if something does jump up, everybody's still in the elevator and they can cheese it while Galen backs in quickly.
Yeah, why don't you give me a perception check for that?
Let's do it. I think I got a +2 perception. I do, 18.
Cool. So as you are doing all of that, you do not pick up on any bodies hiding. You don't find anything right off the rip. You do notice that there are a few holes knocked into the wall.
Okay.
And that makes you remember what the rest of the group told you when they were in the armory recently. So putting 2 and 2 together, you are kind of painting this picture that the survivors have likely dug routes or found routes. They're in the air ducts to get to these places.
Right.
So that catches your eye. But you do not see anybody in here. No one jumps out at you. This is eerily calm and quiet, which is a shocking difference than the 2 floors you were just on.
Right. Okay. So what we're going to do then in that case is he's going to keep sort of half crouch walk kind of thing. Just slow start swinging out there and stuff like that. creating some space between the elevator and him, just to keep getting a lay on the land and stuff like that, and kind of like I'm gonna kind of pie at these holes and just kind of like quickly kind of like flashlight, see if I see any eyes reflecting back at me or anything, just in case.
No eyes reflect back at you.
Okay.
You found 2 holes that you thought a person could squeeze through. One of them is kind of in the far back wall, and one of them is kind of in the middle of the section where the living quarters were, where all the bunks are, where all those remains are. You don't see anyone hanging in there. You don't see any evidence of someone recently being there. But if you very carefully, check your corners, kind of peer in, you can definitely see some handholds knocked into the cinder block kind of thing. So that immediately reinforces this idea in your head that these people, these survivors who you saw dragging scrap and salvage away, they probably have more than one way of getting around this facility.
Got it. Okay. He's just going to kind of look back at the group and kind of give a little bit of a nod that coast is clear, no immediate threats, but kind of giving one of those like easy kind of like, proceed with caution kind of things if you're coming out.
B's gonna ease out of the elevator, and instead of drawing their bow, they're gonna have their bow as like a cudgel. Because what better way to take care of something that jumps out at you than to hit it with a stick?
Just whack it.
Is it a gas-powered stick?
Galen, do you think that there are people living in the walls here?
Well, as I'm looking around, and he kind of points up to some of the handholds and stuff like that, it would not surprise me if a little bit of that was happening here, or at least some way of getting around. The bigger question to me, and he looks over at Dog and Mox and Drall, you said the person that you saw was very person-like, right?
Person adjacent?
Any cyber on him or anything like that?
No, we were taking that. We didn't see any, right?
Are we talking about the group that was dragging the stuff towards the pit?
No,
or...
I think in reference to when we were checking out that floor where the one went through the wall.
Gotcha. So that individual, it was kind of hard to tell because it was so quick. The impression you got was much more the burned raw desert skin covered in tumors and growths kind of thing. Mox does have this handy camcorder in his head, though, which he could check the video on if he wasn't having a coughing fit. There's a lot of dust in this room.
It's difficult. I'm working through it.
There's a lot of dust in this room. No one's changed the HEPA filters in a while, so the HVAC is just real gross.
Do you think that there will be Legionnaire's disease in here too? Because we might have a problem.
We really should have put on masks before we came in here. That was not just a 2024 thing. We should have stayed masked up, frankly.
I wish I could say it with something like that, but I choked on my own spit.
Well, it is a tense situation, not gonna lie. And Galen's just gonna try to play back some of that stuff from Mox. And I think it's pretty obvious that that's not the same type of people that we saw, that they saw, that we saw.
Probably.
Mox goes ahead and uses his glow to pull up the video from his watcher, just swiping back. Pulls that up, zooms in as much as he can. He wasn't paying that much attention, so he probably didn't get a great angle.
Yeah, based on how quick it was, you weren't prepared. It's not like you were zoomed in, ready to take a shot. If you rewind that video, zoom and enhance kind of thing, there's a glint or a glimpse of something that might be some cyber gear, or it might have just been something strapped over their shoulder, like a piece of armor or something like that. It's hard to tell.
I zoom in and, Galen and Mox look at it a little bit.
It's definitely not quite the gigantic motherfuckers we saw in the last piece, so... Either way, I think... So, here's my theory, right? Either these people are trying to get around the motherfuckers we saw earlier, or they are part of the motherfuckers. I don't know which, but we're gonna find out, I think.
Well, I guess the only way to find out is to keep going. As long as it's none of them zombie things that we saw down there, I ain't messing with those.
No, I'm not exactly keen to be messing with too many of those things. Or the plants.
Look, I would say the path of least resistance. Let's see if we can find any more of our grocery list items up here where it's safe, and, leave those other problems to other people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for that.
No, and actually on the way out of here, if we got any C4 left, we might just want to level the place.
No one else should be. No one else should be coming in here for anything either.
We have plenty of C4. We should be able to do something with that.
I got 3 kilos.
That's a big boom.
That'd be nice.
As a matter of perspective, I suppose.
Well, look, I'm not judging you on the size of the boom, if that makes sense. This is not a... I know you can bring the boom bigger, right? This is just what you brought on this excursion, right? That's the way that it kind of works,
Look, everyone heard it. For the record, everyone heard it.
Yep. Galen's going to proceed forward.
All right. So do we want to check out this room for some of the salvage?
I say we should.
As we start to head into that room, Mox, with just, his 45 in his left hand.
Actually, B, I also had a question for you. What's wrong with the thumbs up emoji?
That is historically one of the most passive-aggressive emojis you can send, especially if that is the singular emoji that you send in an otherwise blank text. Especially if somebody is sending you paragraphs and stuff. Who does that? That's coming up to somebody who is pouring their heart out to you, and then you go,
Well, I agree if someone's pouring their heart out to you. But what if someone is like, I'm on my way, and you respond with a thumbs up?
I still think you should at least put a tonal indicator if you're going to be doing just...
A tonal indicator? What is this shit?
Do you not understand emotions? You put a thumbs up and a smiley face so that they know that everything's good. Or you can put a thumbs up and an angry face to be like, fuck you, I know you're on your way, but you're late.
When have you ever given an angry thumbs up in your entire life? That's not a thing.
Well, you've never seen me drive before, so...
That's fair.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Hey, Galen, you want to let B drive?
You know what? Just for fun one day, yeah, I actually kind of do.
I do have quite a few points in driving since I learned real hard lessons last game I played.
Meta joke.
And
Should
Mox
we
will
roll?
just-
Should we roll some scrapping rolls for you there, Caleb?
Yeah. How about we get into some salvage rolls?
Okay.
Unhinged. Sorry.
That was wonderful.
That bears the connotation that we were ever hinged to begin with.
Suddenly a voice echoes out of one of the holes that Galen found.
No.
16.
All right. So while Mox is leading the effort for poking around at this salvage, Galen, do you have tactics?
No. Not so much with the military side of things.
Okay. But Galen has been out and about doing a lot of things here. Do you have like maybe Underworld or the corporate knowledge?
He's definitely got Underworld for
Okay.
tracking perps.
Okay. Why don't you give me an Underworld roll?
Okay.
And does Drall have tactics?
1.
Okay. Why don't you give me an Underworld roll as well?
I got a 10.
Okay.
This dice, between last night's game that we recorded and this night's game, this dice might get thrown away. It might go to the bad jail.
Do you need a dice blessing?
I might need I would definitely need a dice witch by ECC. I definitely will need one.
I have Moonwater. We got
Okay.
this.
All right.
Oh, so good.
What'd you get, Drall?
I got a 15. But the very first time when I went to roll my die, I brought my hand down on top of a D4. One of Jim's.
Ooh.
It hurts right here.
All right. So, Mox, as you are wrapping up here, you do find a couple more medkits. These more beefed up industrial medkits. You find 2 more of those. You also find
That's a 3, team.
You also find another little packet with a dose of antivenom and a dose of anti-radiation. Galen, I kind of envision this as you are kind of on Overwatch while everyone's doing a little bit of work. You're keeping a weather eye on the room.
Mm-hmm.
You're replaying events. You're thinking about things that have happened. You've been in this facility for a couple of hours. The top level where you entered, while the mutant plants were there, there was no evidence of these other individuals, whoever they may be.
Mm-hmm.
On these staff levels, no evidence of any of the mutant plant infestation. And while the rooms have been ransacked, and there was the creepy writing in the armory, no recently dead bodies, no real evidence of anybody trying to settle there or inhabit those spots.
Mm-hmm.
You get that gut feeling from just kind of a situational awareness, logic, common sense, that the people you observed took what they needed and left. You saw that group moving down.
Mm-hmm.
It feels to you like what's up here, they just haven't gotten to yet, but they're not living up here. So clearly they are moving this stuff to their home base, a more secure location, Site B, something.
Okay.
Drall, as you have been observing everything, taking a plethora of pictures and videos for study and possible profit later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
You also notice a lot of the same things I just described for Galen. But one of the other key things you pick up on is that if these people, as gross and disgusting as they are, if they were tromping around up here a lot, there'd probably be some evidence, some tracks, some residue, leftover goopy bits that had fallen off. And you haven't seen any of that. So your gut is telling you that they probably have been moving through the walls, the ducts, the vents. And those can be blocked off.
Hey guys.
Huh?
This place really sucks. And seems really, really dangerous, right? And suspicious. Didn't you mention earlier that there might be in the walls? I think it's like their highway.
What?
So I don't know if the things in here are always in here, or if they can go out there and in here and then out there again. And
So, hold on. Are you saying that the walls, or one of the units inside the walls, or maybe the ducts or something, is how
the ducks.
That's how they get out of the complex? Because if so, I mean, I don't know how that really concerns us. We weren't really paid to deal with them, but interesting information nonetheless, Drall.
I just don't really like this place. And I think it's really strange that we were asked to come here and grab these things as if it were just all like, this is totally fine, blase, shopping list.
I don't think you would have paid us if it were all just like literally a grocery store, you know?
Yeah, but like you'd think you would include mutated subhumans or gross intestines used as paint, or you would say something like burned under suspicious circumstances, or you would give your gophers a little bit more information, but they're in the walls.
Would you include that information if you were trying to get someone to take your job?
If I wanted them to live and I wanted to get my shit, you know what? I'm going to send a very passive-aggressive email. You know what? You guys deal with
Send a thumbs up!
I don't want to lose contact forever. Okay, thank you so much.
Jesus, I didn't realize it was that bad. I have burned so many bridges with that emoji.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume. Just nothing important here. I don't want to assume ill intent, but this guy kind of seems like he maybe needs a knuckle sandwich. because he's withholding a lot of stuff, and that's all I really got to say about it.
Well, I just sent him a very sternly worded and thumbs up emoji at the end after, so he knows he's up. We're pissed.
Fellas, how you do it with the thumbs.
WTF, Hicks, dead bodies, question mark, plant people, question mark, subhuman monster race people. What happened?
Hazard pay.
Oh, shit.
Hazard pay.
Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark.
Snapping emoji.
She even dropped a photo. She dropped a glow. She was so serious about it. You hear that?
Dude, this is dangerous, man. Like, I thought it would be dangerous, but how many people have actually already tried to do this job or a job like this?
Well, fortunately, they didn't succeed. Because if they had, then we wouldn't have anything to return to our employer, would we?
Yeah, that's a really good but selfish point.
Yeah, that's my move.
So while this...
Fascinating questions for maybe later. I suggest we find what we need and get the fuck out of here instead of waxing philosophical.
Sorry, I got nervous.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to lash out.
So while this conversation is wrapping up, Drall, you see a response from Hicks. And it says, "That is unfortunate. We can discuss in person upon your return." No emojis, just a... In fact, he addresses this like an email, like, "Dear Drall, this is unfortunate. We can discuss upon return. Sincerely, Hicks."
Looking over Drall's shoulder at the glow.
Well, how do you know what emotion he's having?
Just looked like deadpanning right at me.
I think now is a good time to send a thumbs up emoji. An angry one.
I swear to God, if we don't get hazard pay, I'll put something somewhere.
Here it is.
For a reason.
Well, that does sound like a good idea, however.
All right, so we are in the living quarters. We've gotten a little bit more salvage. You've been in the facility for a few hours. You've got the feeling that you can spend a lot more time searching and dealing with the potential dangers, or you could leave with what you got. You could take a break and come back later. Like, you've got some options here. You're not in an immediate threat. You've gone over the first few floors briefly. You could probably go in a little bit more detailed search now that you know the lay of the land a little bit. What do you feel like trying?
All I have to say is I am not willing to take another scratch on this record here, okay? We're here. Let's get this shit done. Let's get the payout. We can put, our thumb up his candy ass later. Full circle, baby.
This is a plan coming together? Jesus.
I do have a question before we go about this, because I know I see a scavenging pile over there that I do want to get my hands into, but after you get a rating in this system, they can't go back and change it, right?
They can't do that shit, right?
I'm just checking.
Nah, they can't.
No, once a job
code.
has been graded or scored, it's done.
Done skadiddly.
Well, especially if he's not going to give us hazard pay or is going to be less than empathetic or sympathetic to the situation that he's put us in, we could always complete the job and then reacquire the items and then sell them as well.
We could, we could show up with only half of what he wants. Say we have the other half, but if you don't pay us now, we won't tell you where it is and we won't give it to you.
And
like, if you don't give us a little more, like, just hazard pay, come on, guy.
Anyways, if he's going to be despicable, we can play those games too. And B just throws their hands up in the air, walks away, and starts digging through a pile in the corner that is far away from a hole in the wall.
Mox is going to, pop one earbud in so that he can have some music going from Argos, and I assume he and B will lead the charge on focusing on searching for salvage.
All right. So we're going to spend a little bit more time searching just this floor. Are we going to also go back up to the armory and the main floor? Are we going to go back further down? Are we going to stay away from those prisons?
I vote we clear every possible area before we go to the bad place.
I'd second that.
Yeah.
All right. So the camera can montage a little bit here, scenes of the crew digging through stuff, puzzling some pieces back together, moving heavy stuff, staying out of the way of some of the plants that are up on that main level. You, at the end of another hour and a half, you are able to find the rest of the medical supplies that you needed. So a few more med kits and the doses of anti-venom and anti-radiation. All of those that you needed are crossed off the list.
You said all medical things. Does the healer's hand fall into that?
I'm just getting to that. Thank you for bringing that up. So the armory and the living quarters did not really have a lot of remains of people. There was a little bit here and there, but there wasn't much. You did previously find some cyber arms and cyber legs that you could kind of scrap together into usable pairs. But you haven't really been able to find any more of the gear that would be installed inside people. And as you've spent this last hour and a half, you've been talking, you've been theorizing, you've been chit-chatting. All of you have that feeling that a lot of that heavier stuff was in that medical facility on the prison floor, which no one really wants to get into right now.
So in that case, as Mox finishes checking the last med kit, opening it up, making sure everything is there, closes it, and tosses it onto the literal or figurative pile.
All right. So, I think we all know where this is going. But I have a suggestion. This didn't sound like, now Drall, correct me if I'm wrong, this didn't sound like a time-sensitive job.
No.
So given that, we have easily half of the required, the desired items. We could return to your boy and then as you were suggesting, a little bit of bargaining power, maybe say that if he wants us to come back, now that we know exactly what would go into finding these final items, we need to have that little conversation about renegotiating our prices. Hey? What y'all think?
I like that idea, yeah.
I do think that's a good idea, and I also think that it would give us time to maybe source some firepower, maybe some
Absolutely.
resources. I know the
What do we have left? A weatherman unit? A guppy?
substrate armor.
All of the substrate armor, the weatherman, the guppy, the healer's hand. I believe, unless you just said this and I was wrong, Caleb, we still have one pair of each of arms and legs to acquire, and all of the substrate armor.
That is correct.
But we have gotten 2 pairs of arms, 2 pairs of legs, 2 of the 2 berserker units, 1 is damaged, all of the med kits, all the anti-venom, and all the anti-radiation.
Seems like a pretty good haul to myself, but...
We got 6 out of 12 item types completed.
Do you think that our friends, the DJs, might have some of these things that we might be able to bargain for in order to complete this job?
Well, I'm just saying, if we're gonna be bargaining, that again means we should be getting a little bit more pay.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I don't want to be bargaining and spending more than... We can't spend more than we make, you know?
Well, I'm just thinking, because they did talk about having us do jobs for them too. And if we're doing this to get our reputation back up on the boards, and we want to complete this job, what we could do is go and take a job with them in order to pay off the things that we need to get this job done. Because I don't know about y'all, but I ain't turning into a zombie. That is not how I saw myself going out.
Absolutely not.
What if...
Plant person, but
Well, what if, though, the information of this place alone was enough to be bargaining for some of these things? Like, he's a botanist of some sort, right? And whether... I know y'all don't necessarily like Mercury, but he has some ways and means about him. He would either know how to deal with a place like this or would want to know about a place like this. And I'm wondering if that is something that we might be able to negotiate. We can just call them on the phone if we can get through to, to them and see if we could, pick up an order and just tell them where we're at and maybe work in some of that from there and give them a heads up, because whoever is scavenging out here is getting some prime loot, and I think that is kind of things that maybe our friends at the DJs might want.
I think that's a really good point, because pitting people against each other is always a good thing to do to take the heat off yourself. Tried and true business tactic, to be honest with you. Additionally, is Hicks responsible for this shit? Was he part of... Is this his stuff that he's like, hey, come pick this up? I left under mysterious circumstances. Come on. You want us to throw you under the bus? You want to fuck us over? We can do that.
I mean...
So we can use this.
He was the doctor here, wasn't he? Doctor in loose terms. We saw that torture chamber down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that one of the floors most heavily impacted is the one with the medical facility. Well, whatever plan we go with, I think we have to start with talking with this fucker.
Should we, Drall, call our friends at the DJs first? Give them a heads up on what we are doing, or just give them the shopping list that we are looking for in exchange for some information, and just see if we might be able to work that angle first. Which means we should probably get topside.
Yeah, I think we should get the fuck out of here, okay? And then I think we can send our messages. to our, I guess, to the DJs, and then also to Hicks, probably. Say we're coming to meet you for trade for him, and then also tell the DJs, what they need to know. What do we want them to know? We have stuff that they can. Yeah, what do they?
I mean, we do have samples of the plants for one. I took some.
Yeah.
I know I have some extra cuttings.
So
We also have
I tell you
clothing
what.
made out of them.
I tell you what. Let's get topside. Let's grab the things we wanted to grab for the Bago.
Okay.
Let's grab the turrets and things because I know Mox and Dog want to make some modifications to our ride. Let's get that going. And then when we get a little bit a ways away from this place, let's make a call. And I'll do some negotiating with Mercury if we need to on the way. Because I think we might be able to get what we're looking for, and then we can deliver Hicks a lesson in negotiation.
Okay.
All right. So you head back up to the main floor. It's just as it was before.
May I, as we're heading up to the main floor, Mox just saddles up alongside Dog.
You look a little skeptical of this whole thing. What's going on up there?
Well. Oh, sorry. Well. I mean, I don't trust that guy. I think we should just get the stuff, try to turn it into him, and I mean, maybe he gets covered up in sand. 6 feet of sand. I don't know.
You think we should just try to bring him what we have, see if we can get partial payment and maybe a full review on the boards and wipe our hands clean of it?
I mean, I don't want to be unkind, but if he's part of all this, I mean, what kind of person is that?
Yeah, fair. I guess we'll see.
And what's he gonna do with all this stuff?
I mean, at least what we currently have is, for the most part.
And, Mox waves around one of the cyber arms that's just, sticking out of a bag and...
Most of it's fairly harmless. Yeah, well, on its own. I mean, medkits, anti-radiation, that's all good things.
That's all good things, but I don't know. Why you need I don't know. Fishy.
I agree. No. You be sure to be the one who keeps a wary eye out then. Make sure we don't let him off too easy or anything. Or get in too deep.
I got you, cutie.
Dog,
You got my word.
Dog, is there a code among scavengers out here? Because you bring up a good point, right? But, when we met y'all, weren't y'all out there just scavenging for parts, too?
Yeah.
What makes it... What separates the two, I guess I should say?
A little bit of heads up. If you give somebody a tip, usually you say, or that, you're asking them for a favor, even if you're giving them money, you let them know, hey, you might die. Look out for yourself. You might die. I'd appreciate that. Even if I gave away one of my leads, begrudgingly, I'd be like, be careful. Don't get your leg shot off. I don't know. Or, don't get a plant wrapped around your leg and try to squeeze your nuts off.
Recommend.
As Mox just taps one of his legs.
Yeah, see? We were almost twins there, buddy.
Worth it in the end. Painful in the moment.
Fair enough. Okay, I get where you're coming from. You're looking for professional courtesy. You're looking for professional courtesy.
My brother. That is it. Amen.
Yes. Okay, I understand now. I understand completely.
It don't cost you nothing.
No, it really don't. You know, it's a lost
Damn.
art these days.
Yeah, you get it.
For
Okay.
fuck's sake.
Amen to that too.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm just really upset. We could have done so much better if he just would have been like, hey, by the way, this is what you're up at. Just rude.
I'm saying.
By the
he's
way,
delaying
hire a
delivery.
Rov.
I mean, there was a job that Dog and I went on that was picking up some, nuclear stuff one time from an old encampment, and they let us know everything. They even gave us codes for the turrets. They let us know so that we could go in, get out, and get the money, and it was fine because that was an actual shopping trip. So, I don't know. This dude should not be getting any scavengers working for him if he's going to act like this.
We're all having this conversation on the way back out, right? Just to double check.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. This conversation has been going on over top of the work of finalizing the last little bits of the shopping, taking it back up to the main floor, skirting around the plants. You had to widen one of the doors. The hole you had made, you had to widen that a little bit to get out, so you were doing all this work. So this has been part of an ongoing conversation. It is late because y'all got here when it was getting close to nighttime, and you've been bouncing around for a couple hours. It's night, it's dark, it's late, you're tired. Nothing has happened to the Winnebago other than the plants around the building itself. There has been no evidence of people, cars, vehicles, nothing. You are still smack in the middle of nowhere, completely isolated. So while that in itself kind of adds to the danger of the situation, there is a little bit of peace of mind from that, in that there's no additional threat with where you are right now.
Compared to being completely stalked and haunted inside of a weird-ass prison cell. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll take the desert nighttime versus this all day.
Now, being the desert at night, there are some animals. Animal life does come alive at night. So as you're going out to the Winnebago, you do hear a little bit of animal life. You hear some different types of birds and raptors flying through the air. You hear some skittering of animals. All of that's normal, though. For those of you that have lived out in the desert, that is normal. And coming out into the desert, being washed over with this sense of life, as opposed to the emptiness and the stillness of the prison facility, that is warm and welcoming. Hearing those little sounds of life, little bit of movement, feeling that desert wind, even though it's cooler now that the sun has set, it's nice. This is refreshing.
We're no longer choking on it on the stale air. We've got some actual fresh air. This is nice.
Absolutely. You can see far in the distance that light pollution from the Santa Fe Plex. You can see in the other direction some lights on the horizon that you know are from Texas and Mexico. But where you are right now, again, middle of nowhere, you've got that very deep wilderness darkness. You can look up and see the stars. You can see a variety of satellites and other man-made items orbiting above you. There's an element of comfort and peace to all of this.
Galen fires off 2 shots into the night. Just caca.
It's just a death pop. It's a death pop. You just got to do it sometimes. Had to be done.
Celebration.
Please tell me you didn't shoot that straight up.
No. It's kind of more above and behind us because things that go up come down and all. Trigger discipline, Mox. Trigger discipline.
And as one of the plant people was following behind us stealthily, a bullet falls.
God.
So you can spend some more time working through the night if you want to collect some more salvage, if you want to take a break, catch some sleep, eat some food. Again, this is a tense situation, but you do have an element of safety where you are right now.
There are some old rovs out here still, from what I remember, correct?
Yep, there was a big old hole in one of the garage doors that a bunch of dead rovs had been jammed into to block up the hole.
Cool. He's gonna go and dig around.
Okay.
Galen is gonna open up the 2 storage containers on the side closest to it, so we've got some pretty decent storage on the undercarriage and everything like that, so everybody can start putting everything in there. He'll get a little bit of food ready, but I think we're gonna make this a late night getaway, at least to get us a little bit further away from here, because I don't want to be here in the morning if somebody shows up.
That works. Okay, yeah, you are able to load up the Winnebago no problem. You are able to grab an appropriate amount of to be determined Brav parts. I believe someone had also mentioned snagging some of the towers.
Snagging some of the what?
The server towers and computers. Someone said they wanted to do that on the way out. That is also possible to happen.
Yeah, Mox would absolutely like to be able to see, especially anything that might allow him access to the turrets in the future would be dope.
Yeah, so you're able to grab all that stuff you had on your own little shopping list as you're coming out of this thing. Grab a quick snack. It's late, but you can power through the night and drive all the way back if you want, or you can drive an hour or 2 out and park for the night to catch some sleep. Really, whatever you want to do.
Well, yeah, definitely want some of those ROV parts. As far as how far we drive out, that's a Galen call.
Do we want to make a phone call to Mercury and all that on the way? Do you think he's up this late at night, or do we want to just wait till the morning comes?
I mean, I guess there's no harm in trying.
What exactly do I want to say?
The way I was going to approach it is to tempt him with some information. I would, he told me to flip off Santa Fe on the way by, and I want to leave.
We should take a picture of you doing that. That's how you open up your conversation. He'll love that.
Exactly. And then I wanted to tempt him with some information about some things we found outside of Santa Fe, and see if he wants to bite on any of that.
That I like. You should do that.
Okay. Who wants to take a picture? I'm gonna go over there with a shotgun on my thing and just double birds. Actually, one hand with a shotgun, bird out.
Wait, after this, can we do like a group picture? We never get group pictures together.
Everybody get together! Everybody get together!
I'm doing this all.
We are totally doing this. And he turns on the front lights from the Bago to give us some lights.
I don't like being on.
Come on!
Nope. Nope.
Do you see the thumbs up, Mox?
That was very passive-aggressive of you.
See, you're learning.
That's an appropriate time for it, buddy.
See, what is this? Now there's an appropriate time. Give me something to work with. I was just starting to learn, and now there's nuance.
Didn't you know that communication, especially with other people, has like unwritten rules and stuff that everybody should know inherently, but not all the time because some of them just don't always apply?
You know what,
Yeah, it's flexible.
comment in the live chat or in the comments down below if you want to see a when to use X emoji T-shirt, and we'll just print the rules on the T-shirt for you.
Hey,
Stunning.
hey, Snookums, you know, come here real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, I know this is tough. If you need to just like glance at me or tug at my shirt when you want to know if you should. I mean, if we're having a fight, I probably can't help you then. But
No, that would actually probably be very helpful. Thank you.
yeah, just give me an old glance and I'll help you.
I'll do that.
It's hard. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best.
I know you're doing great. You're doing great. It's an unwritten
This is
rule.
like the most people have been around for this long in easily 15 years.
Yeah, I get that. I searched the desert for scrap. I completely understand. It's tough. Guys.
Argos doesn't give a fuck when I give a thumbs up. See, watch this.
And just turns to Argos and gives a thumbs up, and the dog just.
Argos is a bro.
Argos loves it.
It's great.
He gets it. You know, he doesn't need. What with it? What did you call it, B? Like emotion. What do you say?
A tonal indicator.
Tonal indicators.
I thought that's why you gave Argos eyebrows.
No, he just has eyebrows.
Don't
that why
you
you
use
have
your
eyebrows?
eyebrows? Yes, that's what. Do you not use your eyebrows for things?
I may need to get them replaced. They're not working.
They do have new cyber eyebrows out. We could always look at them.
Cyber eyebrows.
Do they light up?
Cybrows.
Of course they
For
do.
the people who can't cock their eyebrow and just really want to be able to.
You just program it. Fuck you.
There's a new model where they have little windshield wipers that come down and clean your glasses, you know, if you wear those.
You can go full on Dwayne Johnson too. Just
Yes!
Cybrows. We do the emoting for you.
Well, if it doesn't exist, it's a hell of a business venture for after
There we go.
here, guys.
All right. So, are we sending one of these lovely group pictures to Mercury?
let's definitely send me flipping off the Metroplex to him
Yeah.
and see if we
All
get
right.
anything back.
It's good to establish, ongoing relationship.
Networking.
Yeah. Networking.
After you send the picture, do you continue driving all the way back to Solace? Do you drive a little bit and find a spot to park for the night to get some sleep? What's the game plan?
I think we should rest. I don't think that this guy should have his stuff on time, especially if we're already cooking up some other things.
Well, if we're gonna need to make a pit stop to get the rest of it, we should not go all the way back.
Yeah.
Let's just get away from here and we'll take a quick rest and then go from there. How about it?
Though I will be sad that we won't have the minefield to let us know if anything's coming from one side.
Fair enough, but maybe we might have other things that can help us.
You do have 2 drones
We do.
and the sensor packages and suites of the Winnebago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it'll always feel much more safe if Umbra's parents are here too, you know?
All right, so you send the picture, you drive for a little bit, there's no immediate response, you find a spot to pull off for the night. You are able to find a bit of an abandoned, it had maybe been a convenience store or a fuel station or something. It's clearly been demolished and abandoned for years. but you're able to pull the Winnebago up so you've got a little bit of cover on one side, so you've got a little bit of sense of security, and you can grab a quick nap, set up whatever security protocol or shifts you want to do. After a little bit, Galen, when you wake up, you see that there is a message from Mercury, and it just says, "Good show. I like that. Thank you." With a thumbs up emoji.
He would be. Galen is good with that. I just text him back and says, "I've got more information if you're willing for a phone call. Found something interesting out here."
Yeah, I'm free.
And Galen will leave everybody sleeping and stuff like that inside the Bago and go outside and just walk off a few paces and stuff so he can not disturb everybody, basically.
Sure. Do you video call him or just audio call?
No, video call.
All right. So picks up after one ring, and you can see that Mercury is sitting in a very comfortable chair, like a big, squishy, comfy recliner. It seems like it's a very warm, soft, overstuffed leather recliner. He's got a little table over one of the arms. You can see a little plate of food, a very nice tumbler of a dark amber liquid. He is chilling in like a velvet robe.
Of course he is.
You can see the background looks like it's dark where it is, but you can see some shelves behind him. Might be a library kind of thing. Well, you're working very late. Is everything okay?
Well, somewhat, yes. I mean, we are all alive. That's the good news.
Okay.
The interesting news would be something else.
Lay it on me.
I propose, I have found some very interesting information and a location out here for us. But I require a little something in trade. We're working a job. Nothing too expensive, but just some very particular things that we've been asked to go and retrieve from this place. And we have scoped it out, and it is not what it seems on the surface, my friend.
Okay. Well, you're being pretty cagey. Lots of vagueness, which I understand. But you know, we're on the same side.
No. I'm not being cagey because I think this is the thing. I just need, if I was to send a quick shopping list, do you think some of your fine scientists there might be able to help us out and procure the things we need to get paid from this particular job?
Shopping list like groceries, shopping list like guns, shopping list like cars. Like
no, it's much simpler than that. They are needing a pair of cyber arms, cyber legs, some substrate armor, a guppy unit, and a weatherman unit. It's a very specific list that they've given us to procure this time.
Oh, so you're like shopping for body parts. That's
weird. where I get to the information that I'd like to exchange for this little shopping trip.
You know, Galen, this is too interesting to not say yes to. So yeah, 100%. Send me what you need. I'll ship it over. Give me your location. You piqued my interest, buddy boy. I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad we're working together.
I have to say I am as well. And I've got to get me one of those chairs for the Winnebago. That looks absolutely stunning, by the way.
Oh, I don't know if this will fit in that old claptrap of yours.
It might not, but we're always looking to upgrade these days, you know.
I mean, anytime you want to come back to get some work done, I got a pair of these in the office.
Fantastic. How much do you know about detention? The private prison facility corporation.
God, I've dealt with them on both sides of the table for a long time. I know they're generally terrible motherfuckers.
Yeah, not exactly my finest. Not exactly my finest people I would ever like to work with, even when I had to.
Oh yeah, they're shitballs.
Are you aware of something they have outside of the Santa Fe Megaplex?
Hold on a second. And you see him do various cyberpunky AR gestures. Boop, 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 boop. Doo, doo, doo. Well, I know they have a whole collection of black sites all over the place. I know that there were a few down that way, but I don't have any specific readouts or details on any of their exact locations.
This one that we found, we were sent here to get some of these parts. And I can give you the exact location of one of them. There is still things there that are worth procuring that we cannot fit in the Bago. We've gotten our fill and we've gotten most of our shopping list, but I will tell you that there are some very interesting things here that you might want to be very careful about and bring a very large crew with you. Some things that, for a man that is a botanist of your persuasion and your scientists that are there, are very, very interested in what is happening here.
All right. Okay, I'm in.
He just kind of gives a bit of a nod.
So you're saying it's a shit show, and I need to bring enough crew, enough armor, and enough guns to handle it.
I would. We have not made it all the way through the place because we are not as heavily armed as I think we should have been, and we rightfully turned around.
Is this still an active detention site?
No, there has been an incident there. What we were told and what we've been able to find out was there was a riot many, many years ago, and that the inmates took over the place. Now, I don't think there are any inmates left, if you get my consideration, but there are some definite plant life, and there's definitely some people that are moving around the place that should not be there. And I can't tell if they live there or if they are just passing through, taking what they can, but if that's what their goal is, then I would rather see that in our friends' hands than other people's hands.
Wow. Okay.
He just kind of nods at him and he's like, take that for what you will, but I feel like the things that we have uncovered here have been very interesting, and I think that would pique your interest.
All right. Well, I can definitely send a crew over. Are you thinking this is more of a investigate and do some research, or more of a put the boot down first and figure it out from the remains kind of situation?
You're gonna want to be very careful and mind the landmines on the northwest side of it. We did find that out the hard way, though it was still okay. The whole place, detention left, let's put it that way, and they did not leave they did not leave in an orderly fashion. So there is a lot of goodies that you can find there. But it is booby-trapped.
Okay. And you said you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere, right?
At the moment we are, but I'll send you the coordinates to exactly where we were at.
Oh,
we got
okay.
the hell out of there just in case the locals showed up, if you get my drift.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I'll send Tenson out there with the crew. He'll know what to do.
I suppose so, yes, sir. In terms of where to deliver that stuff, I mean, you know where Solace is at this point. You know where you can find me in there, so
Yeah.
just send one of the boys over and all like that, and we'll call ourselves pretty even on that portion of it. I appreciate you taking this call, though.
I'm happy to. We're partners. We're working together on all this.
That we are. Enjoy the rest of your morning, sir.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Indeed. Be talking with you again here soon now, all right?
Yeah, anytime you need work, let me know.
Will do, man. Take care.
And with that done, catch a little bit more rest, wait for everybody else to wake up, and then continue back home? Or are you going to stay here and try to get a hold of Hicks?
Hicks was in Solace, right? I'm looking at Drall with that question. Was he in Solace?
Yes.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, and she's gonna go into her glow and she's gonna pull it up. Yep, Solace.
We might as well head on back.
Show up. I mean, he didn't really seem like he was up to talk. So just head in.
Yes, dog. You look like you have something you want to say.
No.
You just want to pull a bullet in this man, don't you?
Well. I like the route you're going down. But yeah. You know what? I will, what is it? Acquiesce. I will acquiesce to whatever y'all want. I'm good at shooting.
Fair enough.
And kicking ass. So yeah, if you want to do that, I'll help you. I'll help you do whatever.
On the ride back to Solace, I guess then we should discuss exactly how we want to do either this trade-off or this assassination.
Both? Why not both?
Por qué no las dos?
And that is where we are. You are heading back to Solace. You are taking that same path, the same route you drove last time. It is, again, uneventful. You do see other people on the road. You pass a variety of normal and strange individuals and vehicles, but there's no danger, there's no threat, there's no events. So make whatever plans you want, have whatever conversation you want.
B, you drive us for a little bit here while we try to figure out what it is what we want to do. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting! Thank you. Hold on 1 second. And B's gonna rummage through their stuff and get out an old-fashioned trucker hat and put it on backwards.
No, please no.
And some sunglasses and put them on.
Most importantly, what does the trucker hat say?
Yes. Says honk if you're horny.
Beautiful.
As B puts this on and does that. Mox is just going to lean like through the window of the Winnebago before getting in and just like make straight eye contact with Dog and honk the horn.
Oh, come on. Bait, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely drive. When
Be
the
scrambled up
Winnebago's
there.
rocking, it's probably just like an issue with the engine.
It's just windy.
It is. But that's okay. That's why we're headed back to Solace. Everybody's gonna need a night to, maybe get a shower or something in, listen. When we get back there now, Drall, you are the one that got us this gig and things like that. Are we gonna just hand over this stuff to him and call it a day? Or what is your feeling on this?
Okay. So I'd like to be able to fulfill as much of the deal without hostility as we can, because that will affect. But it's also not very nice or safe to do what he's done. So I think we can just be like, what are you going to offer for what we just have here?
Well, now by the time we get back to Solace, though,
Yeah.
our man Mercury has come forward with us, so we will have the rest of the shopping list there. So we will have a full list. This is why I want to bring it up to the group, because we will have a full list.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing to say that somebody might visit him in the middle of the night after we get our job done. Maybe teach him a lesson or three.
Yeah.
Just saying, as a scavenger, like, that man is dangerous if he's posting on the boards stuff like this.
Yeah.
And if it had just been me and Dog doing something like this, we would have been dead.
Okay. So if we want to come at it that way, what we could do is we can give what we have now and say, if you pay us hazard pay, and I don't know, I want to make it to where you can't post anymore. Ugh, this is so difficult, but I want to do the right thing business-wise. Anybody else have any thoughts? Like, I'm thinking give half, be like, hey, if you want us to keep you in good standing and not put all eyes on you because you made us go to this suspicious place, Mr. Dr. Guy, scientist friend.
I mean, give half, get hazard pay, give him the rest.
Yep.
Make sure he gives us a good review.
Yep.
Let him know that we know what he was doing there. We have evidence.
Yep.
And I don't know, is there a way to review somebody who puts up a job? Because I feel like that's a way to do it. I'm still very okay with possibly feeding him to something out in the desert, but it seems like you don't want to do that. So,
I mean, it shows what job he put out last. And if the one he put out last is ours and he goes,
So, really quick, I just want to make sure that I know what all of the options that we're evaluating are. So, let me just go through this really quick for my brain. First one, we give him what we have. Say that if he wants the rest, he has to pay us extra for having, and preemptively post a positive rating of us on the boards. In exchange, we go back, we try to get the items that are missing, and we keep our mouths shut about what we saw there.
Okay.
Is that option one? Is that correct?
yes.
Seems about right, yeah.
So, option two, if I'm correct, is that we hold what we currently have hostage, threaten to sell it to the DJs, if he doesn't give us more money now. Is that right?
I think I think you're on to it. Yeah. I think the thing is, we'll have all the bargaining chips at that point. We'll have the information, we'll have the goods that he needs, and we outnumber him.
All true. So if those are the two main options, which one is our first choice to have go down? What do we want to open with, you know?
You know, when you lay it out like that, option one seems like a pretty good one. Despite maybe my conflictions, I also really want Drall to get a good review, because I understand that as a professional, you want to, you know, get a good review so you have more opportunities.
Yeah.
It is also the most dangerous option, though. It involves us going back into that living hellscape.
No, but we have...
You could blend them together. I mean, the bullets will still be around.
The way that I look at it is, if the dust jockeys are gonna deliver the last of the goods to us in Solace, they're coming whether we need it or not. So either we're gonna turn it over to our friend here, or Mox, B, and Dog, y'all got some new goodies to play with.
What's in it for the dust jockeys?
They're gonna go do recon for us.
Yeah, but why? Why are they getting out of it?
Whatever's left over.
Oh,
so anything not on the list is theirs.
They're our friends. We have very good standing with them now, and I've warned them about many of the booby traps that we found, but I also warned them to come in guns blazing a little bit this time.
well, professional courtesy. I commend you for that. Yeah, that was nice of you. Okay.
That's good.
Also, I think that could come back to help us in the long run, especially if they find anything that is of value and useful to their operations that have been helping us with some of this stuff. So, they'll deliver the goods. They'll probably be there by about the time that we get back, maybe a little bit afterwards. So we'll have the full shopping list. The question is, though, if we want to negotiate hazard pay or if we just want to turn it over, act like we haven't seen anything, and then keep that information to ourselves because it could be useful.
Before getting to that, quick question on behalf of our friends, the DJs. Is Solace a safe place for them to come?
A courier probably could be there. If not, I can meet them outside the gate. It's fine.
I just want to make sure we don't have them walking into, make it look like we had them walk into a trap,
Who would
We
know
did
if they're
do
part of the
everything.
DJs, though?
Fair enough. Aside from all the dust on the jockeys.
We did do everything we could to make sure that they didn't come to Solace after we did that first time.
I just had to ask.
They
do
know
have
where
that
they know where Solace is, though.
That's true.
We just didn't want them tracking us.
That's true. I'll make sure Ferdy doesn't see.
Fair enough.
Hey, a callback. Maybe this is one of them thumbs up situations where we kind of feel out the room and see, what's he got an attitude? Has he see how is he willing to negotiate? If he's not, maybe the boom boom. But I don't know. Emoji situation.
Well, I think but you had another question, Galen, another thing we had to consider.
Yes, I'm sorry, sir.
No, I think the other way that we could look at it is we could try to drive a harder bargain with him and give him half, and try to get some hazard pay out of it. But that does that will make him suspicious that we know that he knows what we know that he knows, kind of thing, and is more likely, I would say, to give a bad review even if we were to have done the job correctly. because he does not seem to have professional courtesy at all.
Fair. Okay. So, I don't really know what to do. I don't usually have to think like about a group. You know what I'm saying? I usually just kind of think about myself. And this is kind of like a big deal. So I'm struggling to pinpoint the proper route to go about this. I know not going in with hostility is going to be like A-okay. I'm really not worried about getting the hazard pay, especially since we have stuff that we can keep. Fine, you don't wanna play. We're gonna keep it, neener. And also, you suck and may have been responsible for the atrocities that we saw, so you could pay us to keep our mouths shut. Just
But he is holding your rating on the board hostage for what it's worth.
Okay.
I mean, I personally
If that's what
that much of a shit about your
yeah,
rating.
okay. Yes, Mux. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I love that for me. But the words do hurt. They hurt, Mox. So my rating aside, because it's clear we can still get good jobs. It's fine. I don't have to be top of the game as long as we are safe, which is new for me a little. But I really want you to both be safe, fed, and paid. What do you want? What do you want? She's like sweating, maybe more than usual.
I think first the idea of going in and getting paid for what we have and guaranteeing a positive rating in order for us to try to get more sounds like a good idea.
We could also always just keep an eye on our friend here too as well. I feel like the information is as important as the money that we're about to pull too. So that would be my board. Yeah.
What if we just, I don't know, put him in the crosshairs of the jockeys?
We could. Let's hold on that information and use that as a backup. But I like where your head's at, B.
Murder.
I mean, yes.
I didn't say it in a bad way. I think murder's plenty cool.
All the kids are into it.
Yeah, I'm hip, I'm jive.
All right, so we've got the structure of a plan here. Galen, do you let B drive all the way back to Solace?
Absolutely. What harm could come about?
All right, so B gets you back to Solace, no trouble. maybe a few extra bumps taken on the road.
Hey, those bumps were there. They weren't my fault.
When you get back to Solace, when you are pulling into the normal parking spot, there is a package waiting for you. Off to the side, not in the way of where you would park, but like off to the side where you'd normally have your little tent and piece of AstroTurf.
I'm going to I'll open it up and everything like that. I'm assuming it's what we ordered, so to speak.
Yep. Okay. It is exactly what you requested from Mercury. There's just a little note tacked to it. It just says, "Good looking out, -M." Bill is over there, hanging out, cooking a burger. Solace is Solace. Everything's good.
Fantastic.
Are we going to go talk to Hicks now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, let's go
All right.
wrap that up.
All right, so if you recall, Hicks had been staying in Solace because his vehicle had been damaged. He claimed it was damaged. A couple other people said it looked like it had been intentionally hurt. So mixed messages there. But he has been working out of a small office off at one end of Solace. It's kind of one of those like office share spots that we have nowadays, you know, where just anybody can get a little workspace. So he has been working there for the last few days. He's been patients, been doing this and that. And when you go over there, he is sitting at a desk. He's got a couple glows on the desk. He's got some hollow screens pulled up. He's doing some work. Hicks is an older gentleman, guessing early 50s. Kind of a Colonel Sanders look. And he's just sitting there working when you come in. He looks up. Oh, hello. Yes, you sent me the message.
Hey, here.
Yeah.
Heard the message.
Is everything complete? Were you able to acquire all the items I needed?
Drall is going to kind of look at everybody. And she'll like tug on her hoodie a little bit. So about that. That
Gestures
was
for you to go on.
yes, yeah. And that was extremely dangerous and unexpected. Knew that there was some risk involved with this particular job, which par for the course. Completely understand. This was falling on excessive. We got about half the list without maim or damage.
Okay, so he sits back in his chair a little bit. This is very much the architect in the Matrix, the way he is holding and presenting himself. Okay, yes, definitely a dangerous situation. You were clearly aware of that when you accepted the job. Thank you for bringing in what you've acquired. Are you heading back out to get the rest of it as we agreed on?
Okay, out of character. What should I say?
All I know is Mox shouldn't say it. Whatever it is that should be said, Mox probably has the lowest charisma in this entire group.
B's fixing to cuss him, so...
Yeah, I feel like I could be pretty articulate. But so do we want to... Because we have the other part. So we can just give him what we have and be happy with the information and the regular pay?
That's assuming you're making the assumption that he's going to pay without some strong arming for just half of it.
And the review.
My position here as just a player is utilize what you have as collateral to renegotiate better pay if he wants the remainder, and that includes a guaranteed high rating now.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I'm only one of 5.
Second.
No, I needed... Thank you, because Lauren, the player, was like, there's so many options. I don't know what to do. And Drall was like, girl, keep it together. Come on, what are we doing? Okay. So, we can go out and get the rest of it. Wanted to bring to your attention the particular the particulars of the area in case you weren't quite aware what was being dealt with there. We can go out for the rest, but I was wondering if we could potentially get not only a positive rating, but maybe just a little pat on the back for having contracted whatever disease was harnessed in this particular lab.
And by pat on the back, she means more money. Fuck! I was supposed to keep my mouth shut. I'm sorry.
I did mean that. Yeah, sorry about that.
To clarify, you are attempting to renegotiate the job you have already accepted without completing the job?
There's a guarantee that comes along with that, though.
Yes.
Is that different than the guarantee when you accepted the job saying you would work it to completion?
No, there's a guarantee that I will ensure that my purple-haired friend here won't talk about what we saw down there.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff there. And there are a lot of people that would probably be really interested in that information. Yeah.
Ah, so this is blackmail.
It could be.
I prefer extortion. It's a much fancier sounding word.
Well, do what you
sent us
must.
to die. So.
Knowingly. You did that.
I listed a job according to the parameters of the job board, listing an appropriate pay for the dangers inherent to the location and the request. I am well aware of the current status and standing of the location and what went on there in the past and is currently going on there.
What was not disclosed was the condition of said location. Unfortunately, it was quite a great deal more hazardous to this particular biological team to get in there and get done what you needed to get done. Unnatural obstacles were in our way there.
You are correct. There are many obstacles in the facility based on your reputation and skill level and willingness to accept the job for what I offered. It is clear that you felt skilled enough to handle it. If that is not the case, we could call the job incomplete.
So you don't want any of the things that we currently have then? I'm just clarifying, because if it's incomplete, then all this stuff that we've already gotten for you, I mean, I guess you don't need, and I'm sure the next group that you hire to get out there will be able to find them, given the fact that we currently have them.
Also, I can assure you that word does travel very quickly in the scavenging groups, and there may not be a next group.
As an aside, if you were responsible for all the plant people in there, from one scientist to another?
Plant people? There's no plant people there.
What are they?
Oh, yes, there are.
Well, there are the survivors of the facility, and then there are the experiments that I worked on.
What do those look like, big man?
People?
Oh, you want to keep going? A little more descriptors?
I left them all humanoid in shape.
Yeah, okay.
Time changes things, so.
But again, very interested in your work. Horrifyingly immoral, though it seems to be. Not that I personally have any problems with that. But, given all that, If it is the case that you desire the half that we currently have and the half that is still remaining, I think there's some information that was left out. And had that information been included, we would have negotiated the price a little differently at the time of acceptance. So we can move forward here amiably, or we can move forward here incomplete.
Let's put it this way. I believe between my opinion and your opinion, we are at an impasse of disagreement. That being said, if you have completed a portion of the work, I am willing to compensate you for a portion of the work. Your point, motioning over to B, that the rumors that will likely circulate could be damaging to the work I am currently doing, which you must all recall that I am working to maintain and save lives of your friends here in Solace and in the neighboring vicinity. That would become damaged. I will accept that point and am willing to negotiate with you for the sake of allowing me to continue my valuable medical work that I am currently doing.
How
And
much?
out of character, that is a point I would very much like to circle back to, probably next session, because I want more information about that.
There is also no guarantee that he is the only doctor in Solace, first of all. So,
Oh, so you know that you are right. He is not the only doctor in 100%. But you also know, and we did bring this up before, that he is kind of like a traveling doctor. He is one of the few that is willing to go out into the wasteland to these small camps and settlements. Like, he works out of an old ambulance that's been refitted and he's driving all, Dr. Gig Economy kind of thing. He has a legitimate reputation of being a good doctor. That is not in question. He has a history of helping people.
So, if I may, in order to have all of us achieve all of our desired ends, including you being able to continue your valuable work, maybe, as you said, we can negotiate the exact price as this portion is valued, but my acquaintance here, her standing on the boards is also quite valuable. And since we did not fail your job, I would expect that she receive a positive rating, since we are willing to negotiate in such a fashion.
So the crux of the matter is trading the maintenance of one reputation for another.
Everyone wants to stay in good standing.
How much is this job worth to you?
Well, to me, very little. But, and he flicks at one of his glows and the display kind of shifts to the wall that you can all see. And you see multiple files open up. And all of these files, each one is an individual person. And you see that he's pulling up the medical files of a dozen individuals. To these people, my work is invaluable because what I have asked you to obtain is for them, for their survival.
How much are their lives worth to you?
They're
Jesus.
lives are worth nothing. What do you mean?
That's interesting, though. Do no harm for a doctor, right? How much did you post this job for?
The original job was 5,000 souls each. You said you have acquired half of my needed items. So for that half, I will pay half. And, gesturing to Mox, provide the agreed upon positive review that is so important to you.
Make it
Beg your pardon, Galen.
make it 6,500 in the positive review, and you'll have everything you need.
So more than I originally agreed upon for less than what I require?
No, you get your full requirement.
Ah,
Look, we need a little bit of supplies to go back in there and get the last bit of what you need. So transfer the money to us. We'll make our purchases. Give us the review now. We will guarantee on everything that we have that we'll bring you the last of the work.
He leans back to consider. Why don't we bust out the dice and do a negotiation roll just to flavor what happens here.
Use dice in a TTRPG?
How dare!
Well, that dice is gone. Just completely went off the fucking rails there. I rolled a 16.
So Hicks leans back. You see him look up at the ceiling for a moment, weigh the options. Well, the work does need to be completed. And since ultimately what we are discussing here is reputation, my reputation to continue the work that is needed needs to be maintained. So I will agree to your terms.
When the money clears and the review is posted, we will return with the rest of your stuff.
Okay.
If it clears and everything like that now, then we will be back very quickly.
He taps a couple things on his glow, and Drall, you get a notification that payment has processed to your account, and the job has been marked as completed by the poster with 5 stars. No
Dog.
comments, no, just 5 stars.
Dog, get the box.
You got it.
Hicks stands up and offers a hand to shake out to you, Galen.
He'll take it with his cybernetic arm.
You remind me of several people I used to work with.
Thank you. And his dog kind of brings the box of the last of the stuff that we got from the DJs in there with it. Galen's gonna take from the grip and then gesture over to the box and says, as requested, the other half of the shipment.
Nice.
That was very fast work. Your team is worth the souls.
Consider this a down payment on a possible working relationship.
we shall see what the future brings us.
Indeed. But a note of a bit. If you do post again to these job boards, have the professional courtesy to include a little bit more details in there. Otherwise, we would not have to have these kinds of conversations. I'm a man of very simple means. Indeed. You know what? Indeed, Drall. Indeed. I do hope we get to work again soon, and I do hope that all of these fine folks, as he points over to the wall, I do hope that all of these fine folks find what it is they are looking for.
Thank you for the advice. I shall note that for. I believe that does conclude our business today, unless any of you have medical needs you need me to attend to.
Mox is definitely going to want to linger a little and just...
I'll catch up. Not a personal medical need, but, intellectual curiosity. What are you researching?
Currently?
Well, whatever you were researching, your experiments back there, and with your altruistic goals of helping people, I'm very curious what it was that you were studying.
Well, 2 points to be made here. One, my goals are not altruistic. My goals are to acquire the funds I need to continue my current work. And two, the work that I was doing at the time I was associated with that facility is proprietary to several individuals, and I cannot disclose it.
Just a little bit, just like an aperitif, just an amuse-bouche of a little bit.
No.
Fuck.
Walks out dejected.
Bee's gonna go out of the door. Just do this.
I just envision her
Slam the
doing that
door.
while walking backwards out of the door.
Yes, a la Avatar. And slamming the door.
All right. So this job is concluded. You are all richer.
The minute that Galen walks out the door and they close it behind him and stuff like that, he just kind of goes, "What?" And then walks on.
I like it. Am I the only one?
Yes. I need a drink.
I like that idea.
So it sounds like you're gonna go to the barfly.
Oh, of course we are.
It is, let's say, late morning as all this is wrapped up. You head to the barfly. It is that kind of a lull between breakfast and lunch. It's not busy, but it's not empty. The regulars are there. Several people give you a shout from across the room. The warm comfort of the barfly immediately calms you down from this tense situation. The wooden floors, the mismatched tables. There's several new quasi tables since the last time you were here because they keep falling apart. One of the usual servers is behind the bar, cleaning a glass, organizing some bottles. There's a couple of the regular servers circulating the room. You don't see Ferdy right away, but you are able to sit down, grab some food, grab a drink, no problem. Music is playing in the background. Feels like home, feels good.
Bee's double fisting. Angrily.
Anybody else doing anything important we want to call out here?
Not important, but Mox did last time he was in reprogram some of the jukebox to have a better music selection. So he's taking full advantage of that.
Yes, you see that has
Yes.
remained. That has been retained.
Damn right it has. I have an alert on my glow for if someone fucks with that.
I don't think Ferdy would mess with that. Ferdy would be appreciative of that.
Indeed.
All right, what's our entrance music then, gang? I can start it up from my glow before we walk into the bar. What song plays?
Eye of the Tiger.
Why not? Rocky 3 action, Eye of the Tiger. And we are like halfway through the chorus when we open the door.
So you're all sitting there. It's been a little bit of time. You got some food, you got some drinks. B, one of the servers comes over and taps you on the shoulder and leans down, doing that kind of close server talk where they're talking to you so no one else can hear, 'cause it's kind of like a loud environment. They're not leaning on you in your shoulder, but they're close enough in your space. And they say, Ferdy wants to see you in the back.
Okay. Ferdy, need anything from out here?
No. Ferdy has enough.
Ferdy always has enough. Alright, hold on. Hey, I'll be right back. Order me another drink. And B's gonna grab a bottle of water and stumble a little bit on the way to the back.
So you go to the staff doors that goes into the kitchen. You're very familiar with this. Grew up here, you worked here, you pestered around here when you weren't allowed. So you go through the doors into the kitchen, you wave at the cooks who are back there working, they wave back. You know that the office doors are through the kitchen, and then there's a flight of steps going up to a few offices where Ferdy tends to work. Again, you've been here all the time. Your feet take you there without even really thinking about it. You go up, you go into the main office where Ferdy typically works. They're not there in this moment. The office is like it always is. A couple desks, computer screens, a couple glows, piles of stuff here and there. There is another door at the end of the office that leads to like a back storeroom that Ferdy uses for some of their special stock. Some of the liquor and food items that they don't want accessible to regular folks, unless they've got enough money. And you hear something from that back room, and it sounds like a muffled thump and not like a scuffling, but like something being moved around that's very large. You are about to dash towards the door because suddenly, like, the worst thing you can think of is happening behind that door. And then the door opens and Ferdy walks out. Ferdy is wearing dirty jeans, black tank top. You can see their very muscular arms are exposed. They've got on some working gloves. In the split second between them walking towards you and them closing the door, you can distinctly see that there's a chair in the middle of that room, and there is a body tied to that chair, slumped over. Ferdy shuts the door firmly behind them. Girl, we gotta talk.
Hey, Ferdy. You're looking mighty fine. Do you want some water real quick? It looks like you've been working hard in there.
And I think that's where we'll end the episode.
Yeah.
We had some tense moments there, folks.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
I have so much sweat on my body as well.
Mighty sweats, yo.
Holy crap.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire, as the saying goes. That is where we will end episode 60. I hope everyone's okay. Tense moments in the story. Thank you all for being here in the chat and enjoying this tension and drama with us. Thank you, future audience from the YouTubes, for seeing this. I hope you enjoy it. Tell us what you thought of this uptick in the tension. We are going to be saying goodbye for now until next time. So let's check in with our cast and see how we can get a hold of them and what they'll be doing, starting with Mallo.
If you're on YouTube later, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It's free, and it helps us find things with other fringers and stuff like that out in the world. Thank you all for joining us tonight and for the raid earlier. If you want to follow myself, you can follow me at the Mallo Man everywhere on the socials and things like that. Don't forget, we will see you at ECC coming up next week. I will be tweeting, blue skying, threading, Instagramming, and all sorts of good stuff from there a lot. So just come on by, say hello.
Definitely do as much as you can on the social while you're there safely. You know, you got a lot of work to do. You got to take care of yourself as well. But for those of us that can't make it out, we want to live vicariously through your social media. Wild.
Yes, hello. Yeah, like, subscribe, YouTube. If you're on Spotify, I don't know if any of you still are. I still am, begrudgingly. Make sure that you also follow our podcast there. You can find me at Wildling011 just about everywhere. And I will also be at ECCC with the Mallo Man. I will also be over at the Fry and working on some exhibits at BAM. So if you would like to support some art museums, please take some time, get some tickets, go check them out. There's some wonderful creativity on the walls and on pedestals there that I think you should, take a gander at. Until next time, thank you for your ears and your time and your consideration. I hope to see you again.
Pete?
Well, hello. Thank you for joining us. Please join us at Comic-Con, Emerald City Comic-Con, and you can follow me at The Mallo Man on all the socials to find out and see all the things about that. All the lovely time.
I wish Pete could be my social media manager.
Just
post
hot
the
dogs.
greatest shit ever, I swear.
God.
He would have you as the Wizard of Meats, and I know that because he was the Wizard of Meats when we met.
And clearly that worked, so he's doing something. He's doing something right. That's all I'm saying. He's doing something right.
We need to bring that back. Let's do it.
Well, yeah, thank you. Wizard of Meats. That's you now, Mallo.
And Lauren.
Hi. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm on the internet. I am in lots of places all at once. I am 1,000 Faces Cosplay, as well as 95% Lauren on Instagram and Tweeties and wherever else the internet does things. And we'll be doing other TTRPG shenanigans tomorrow? Is that correct? Wow, we're gonna be doing our all kobolds. Ah! So that's gonna be delightful.
And Ethan, bring us home.
Gonna pick up on what Lauren was saying. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central on our Twitch, Thousand Faces TTRPG, we will be doing part 2 of what was supposed to be a one-shot, but it never is, of our Oops All Kobolds Rise of the Red Scales. We got 5 players, they're all kobolds. What happens when the great worm dragon that the kobolds are serving just decides to leave and leave them to their own devices? Tune in to find out. And on Saturday, we'll be doing session, I think, 21 or so of Wild Beyond the Witchlight on Misty Mountain streaming. I'll be DMing, Lauren is playing, so more TTRPG action available for your enjoyment this week.
And definitely make sure you are following your relatively new social and TikTok. Is that the Buff GM?
I am
Buff DM.
The Buff
There it is.
DM on TikTok, Instagram, and Thousand Faces Cosplay, also other places as well. Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Excellent gaming discussions, content, and some funny bits here and there.
I appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate you. So what about you? Where can we find you?
Yes.
I am on the socials at the Caleb G. You can find me in the Identico archives for Chaos Incorporated. You can find me in future Identico projects. You can hear me over on Farm to Fable and in the archives of the RPG Academy. That is it for all of us today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and participating. We will see you in 2 weeks. Same cyber time, same cyber station. Good night. Love you. Please take care of yourself. Drink some water, take your meds, eat some food, take a break from the internet, go outside if it's not too cold, sit inside with a sun lamp if you need to. Just do whatever it takes to survive and take care of yourself. We love you. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.